LIEnette has literally lost everything. She's lost in Ohio court, found guilty of stalking. She has lost multiple times in Ohio court because she then violated the protection order, found guilty. She lost in Levy County court. She literally knew she was going to lose everything, and therefore she voluntarily dismissed her case and her claims. Every single motion she has actually submitted in the federal court has been denied. LIEnette has lost everything, and yet there are some who are still saying that she's going to win? How? The last frivolous motion was for summary judgment. Now, I can call it frivolous, but this is part of the legal process. And so a lawyer is going to do this just to go through the motions. No judge is going to grant it based on all the evidence, the actual hardcore evidence that exists. And I'm not going over her actual motion for summary judgment. That would be as insane as trying to prove that the earth is flat. Now, there are a handful of viewers that are still going, Jeremy, how dare you say the earth is round? I don't know, number one, because I've literally been in a plane and I've flown almost all the way around the earth and never did it go off of the edge of anything. You know, that thing called common sense. But we've seen that not too many people have common sense when it comes to LIEnette. And one of the things that we've been talking about in this motion, which is our motion against, this is the motion against the summary judgment, is all the foolish things that LIEnette has done. The evidence, the proof, material facts in opposition. Out of 24 pages, we are currently on page number 9. And we ended up with Miss Preston handwriting, the signs, exactly. Which then goes on to state, on Sunday morning, May 14th, 2023, around 7:15 a.m., which is really odd that her law, LOL, because it's a joke, is stating, well, if the signs were there, then they were only there for 41, 51 minutes, something ridiculous like that. How much damage could have happened? Oh, I don't know. A tremendous amount. Whether it's minutes or whether it's seconds or whether it's a momentary glimpse that comes out of somebody's mouth, it is never, ever okay to accuse somebody of such heinous acts and crimes. And yet we see the pattern in LIEnette's life. This isn't just with me and Lloyd and her own grandson Landon and everybody. You go back years and you see this happening in Iowa, and you see this. It just is constant. It is her life pattern. She doesn't get what she wants, therefore she tries to destroy you as a person or anything you are, your integrity, your character, your business, the whole deal. So on Sunday morning, on May 14th, 2023, around 7:15 a.m., Stephen, which is Brett Granger, Madam Mayor's husband, was driving to work because they worked at the post office at that time, from his home in Otter Creek to the U.S. Post Office located in Chiefland, Florida. And both Brett and Madam Mayor Therese, his wife, were traveling north. They both worked there, headed into work. They worked weekends delivering packages. And at the intersection of, on State SW Southwest 3rd Street and the intersection of State 24. The corner intersection is the campground property, and there's a sign that says Shady Oaks Campground. And both the Grangers saw two and stopped with their car to pick up handwritten road signs at the intersection of State Route 24 and Southwest 3rd Street in Otter Creek. And they were staked on the grass for all the traffic to see. One sign stated Jeremy Hale's Ohio Rapists. Now, I'm not going to break it down for you right now. The other, and you realize that's not the actual word. The other sign, Jeremy Hales needs to go, no Ohio Rapist. I guess they just don't enjoy good music in Levy County. In Levy County. Now, Brett with the affidavit and Therese, Madam Mayor Therese with her affidavit, both Brett and Therese took pictures of themselves loading the two signs into the back of their Jeep. So now, not only do the signs exist, they were placed, and somebody had an incredible idea. Somebody left a comment and said, Jeremy, why haven't you subpoenaed the GPS location on both LIEnette and Crook's cell phone? It doesn't even matter if they're not using the same cell phones anymore. All of that information is kept within the phone companies. Guess what we're going to do now? Not only have we gone to Walmart and said, hey, we want all your video footage and we want the receipts and we want all the information. Now, I love this idea, getting the GPS location on that day and time where these two are, yet again, proving who did this. So Brett and Therese put them in the back of their Jeep, and we can see that within their actual affidavits, which I'm not going to go through their actual affidavits because their affidavits are just discussed within the motion. Maybe we'll go through them, but as of right now, I don't plan on going through them, which basically just says what I just read to you. That's why it would be redundant. And on that same Saturday morning, May 14th, 2023, Mayor Zim Pageant was riding his golf cart on the side of the road on US Highway 19, which he rides around on his golf cart all the time. So did Brett and Therese, but this day they were going to Chiefland, so they needed the vehicle. This is a normal thing in Florida. If you've not known this, golf cart is pretty much the vehicle of transportation in Florida. Wait. Maybe it's a white Gladiator Jeep. No, definitely not. That's not it. All right. And near the intersection of State Route 19 and State Route 24, collecting several handwritten road signs on US Highway 19 that had been staked in the grass for all of traffic to see. And it's referencing Zim, Mayor Zim's actual affidavit as well. All of these handwritten signs had derogatory comments about Mr. Hales. And hereinafter within this motion is going to be called derogatory road signs, as we can see here. Now, keep in mind, the judge has already said that per se, defamation per se, is so horrific, you don't even have to show damages, which obviously this has cost us a tremendous amount of stress. It's been very, very negative in our health. It's been very negative in relationships that we have built with one another, with friends, family in Otter Creek. It's that now gone from LIEnette doing this to the ripple effect of guano, and then it goes to leeches, and it goes to Dodgy, and it goes to Stupid Dave. It goes, and all of these people will be held accountable in court. They 100% will be held accountable. And as the judge has already stated, millions of dollars have been awarded. Now, can any of these people pay it? Nope. They'll be liable for it for the rest of their lives. Okay, so let's just keep on going. Brett and Therese Granger then produced to make, wait, there is that one guy with 40 acres with crock eggs that alone are worth $100,000. He thinks it's all protected because it's in his wife's name. Why is it in his wife's name? Because he already went to jail because he's a felon. It's not protected. All right, so Brett and Therese then proceeded to make a left turn on US Highway 19 when they saw then Vice Mayor Zim, but now Mayor Zim Pageant on a golf cart, also collecting more of the derogatory road signs that were staked in the grass. All of the derogatory road signs had derogatory comments about Jeremy Hales. Now, where was I and George at this point? Well, myself and George were in Ohio because this is mid-May, and we always try to be back in Ohio on May 1st. Now, if somebody's going to try and say, oh, Jeremy did this, Jeremy had this whole plan, why wouldn't they have gone up immediately when I was gone? How in the world would I have gotten handwriting samples of LIEnette writing my name and then tried to match it? That's absurdity of itself right there. Again, is foolish of saying that the earth is flat when we all know the earth isn't flat. And the funny thing is that they're actually, ignorance just boggles my mind. Okay, there are people going, well, the Bible says the earth is flat. No, the Bible does not say the earth is flat because there was firmament and there was water and water. That is not what it means. That is not the interpretation. Please educate yourself, which, by the way, I have a full seminary degree, a master's So if you want to take your limited education and try and educate me with a seminary degree in Bible and theology, good luck. The earth is round. All right, so the Grangers proceed to take a left turn on Highway 19. All the derogatory signs were staked in the grass. All derogatory signs had derogatory comments about Mr. Jeremy Hales. And Stephen Granger, meaning Brett, stopped his car and spoke personally with Zim, gave him the derogatory road signs, and then Brett and Therese collected and asked Zim to deliver all the derogatory road signs to Mr. Hales at a schoolhouse property, along with, page 11, the derogatory signs that Mr. Paget was collecting. So in other words, Brett and Therese found some on the, we'll call it the west end of town. Zim found some on the east part of town. Brett and Therese had them in their vehicle going to work. They saw Zim collecting them, passed them off to Zim, said, hey, can you get these to Jeremy? Well, obviously Zim can't get them to Jeremy because Jeremy and George aren't even in Ohio. But the nice part was Deanna, being an independent contractor, was in Florida taking care of things. So let's see what happens then. And Stephen and Therese, or Brett and Therese, then proceeded to go to work at the United States Post Office in Chiefland, Florida that day, which all can be confirmed. Not to mention that once they sent me pictures, I sent pictures to Deputy Weaver of the Levy County Sheriff, and there's an entire text thread in regards with the Levy County Sheriff as well. But you know, those flat earthers out there keep going, why didn't he contact the sheriff? I did. The stupidity of these people. Mr. Zim then delivered all the derogatory road signs to an agent of Mr. Hales, meaning an independent contractor, that would have been Deanna, at a schoolhouse property on State Road 24 in Otter Creek, Florida. And that's exactly what happened. So again, to recreate the entire scenario, what happened, Brett and Therese, they contact me immediately through text and they go, whoa, we just found this. Then they're driving down the road to go to work. They see Zim picking up signs. They give the signs to Zim. Zim then takes them to Deanna, and Deanna sends us double-sided pictures of each side because they were double-sided of every single one. And at that point, I contact Levy County Sheriff, Deputy Weaver, and then I figure, okay, do I make a big deal out of this or do I make fun of it? Because if I make fun of it, then they're just mad because it didn't make me mad, which then I made a pretty funny rap out of it. And it's very serious, even though I use parody to sometimes lighten the seriousness of things. And I enjoy humor. And the only way to get through some of these disgusting, horrific things that these fools have done is through humor. All right. Certified forensic document examiner and handwriting expert witness, Diane, and examined the handwriting. Now, keep in mind, this is the handwriting from the signs. Sign, exact handwriting from the signs to LIEnette's motions in court. What happened first? This isn't a chicken or egg question. Signs went up in May. Now we have civil protection order against LIEnette, and LIEnette's trying to get in retaliation an injunction against me. And she's handwriting motion after motion after motion. And what are the words she keeps using? Jeremy, Hales, Levy County. Jeremy, Hales, Levy County. So the fools that are saying, well, Jeremy just tried to copy her handwriting. Number one, that means their handwriting expert, who has been removed from many, many cases because he's not been found to be an expert, never ever had handwriting excerpts from me to compare. Okay. Number two, he literally is admitting, if he's stating, as they're saying, which remember, they've lied about a lot of things. Deuce has literally, immorally, unethically, illegally has signed Scott Stank's name and used the wrong middle initial. Now, we can deduce that Deuce did this because Scott Stank, no matter how stanky he is, isn't dumb enough to forget his middle initial. And who's the only other person writing and drafting these things? It would be Deuce, who has literally admitted that he has drafted motions already for this federal court illegally because he never even stated in the drafting of the motions he was doing it. We'll get to that later in court as well. Now, I say illegally. it'll ultimately be determined up to the judge what is going to happen with all of this. It'll ultimately be determined with the Bar Association what is going to happen with all of this. And this is just a tiny fraction of the things that have happened that are unethical, if not illegal, that this man, if you could even call him a man, we're going to say coward, has done in this aspect of this case. All right, so, i.e. the handwriting print, not script, on several of the derogatory road signs, compared them with known documents containing Miss Preston's own handwriting. There you have it, containing LIEnette's own handwriting. Signs come first. We're trying to figure out who did them. Now, we already know who did it. We know LIEnette did it, okay? We thought it was Crook who did it as well, because it was obvious that there were two authors of these signs. We have gotten everything we can in regards to Crook's handwriting, and we have determined that it is absolutely not Crook. Now, if I was going to, as the other side is stating, Jeremy was trying to forge LIEnette's handwriting, wouldn't it have been wise for me to try and forge Crook's handwriting as well? I mean, this whole theory of theirs falls completely and totally apart. If there's two authors, wouldn't it be wise on my part to forge LIEnette's and Crook's? And yet, nada. We don't know who did the second. Now, we think we know. It was one of the rug addicts that were living in the shed. And we've compared handwriting to every piece of handwriting that we can find on other residents of Otter Creek. And that would be those who we call close friends and those who we would call enemies as well, and everybody in between. If there was handwriting, we have compared it. We still do not have a sample to identify the second writer, which is why we believe it was one of the rug addicts coming in and off the property, who we have made contact with. The only person within this story that we have ever reached out to make contact with. And we feel extremely confident that that is who the second person is. All right, and compared them with known documents containing Miss Preston's handwriting, specifically 12 of Miss Preston's handwritten court filings in the very same case that she filed against Mr. Hales for a temporary injunction. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, it gives the opposition some major holes in their argument and major problems with their argument. And again, keep in mind, they have yet to even file their false narrative, their fake reality in regards to their handwriting expert, who has been known not to be an expert and has been dismissed from court because he's not an expert. Now, we could dig into that, but it's just not worth it until they actually file it. And then what will happen is the plaintiff, me, and my legal team will attack that like crazy. Now, you have to also understand this is court. So LIEnette, the defendant, and her legal team's job is to attack me. Right? Except no credible lawyer is going to do that online on YouTube. Now, a lawyer typically will talk about a case after the case if it doesn't breach confidentiality or lawyer-client privilege. But the insanity of hours upon hours upon hours of garbage being spewed. Well, just think of it. If you were the judge, what would you think? Now, it's okay for me to talk about my case. This is my life. This is my life. This is the news story of my life. This is happening to me. It's not okay for my lawyers to openly and publicly talk about it. Now, and you've seen that none of them have openly talked about it as a case is going on. If I give them permission afterwards to discuss it, then that's a different story. But during the case, that's a huge no-no, especially in the state of Florida. All right. Certified forensic document examiner and handwriting expert witness Diane, professional opinion is that, what does it say? I mean, you can read it in bold just as much as I can, right? Miss Preston, what does it say? LIEnette handwrote the double-sided derogatory road signs, which state, well, we can start reading them here. They're so horrific. Stop Jeremy Hales. No rapist in Levy County. Now, these are just the ones that we believe she wrote, not the other author. Stop Jeremy Hales. No rapist in Levy County. Jeremy Hales needs to go. No child rapist in Levy County. Jeremy Hales needs to go. No child rapist in Levy County. Jeremy Hales, Ohio rapist. Man, you know, I would be great at Christmas. Maybe that's why Christmas in the Creek was so successful, because I was rapping and rapping. Actually, we didn't wrap presents. You wouldn't want to do that for the kids anyway. You want them to pick what they truly want. Jeremy Hales, the Ohio rapist. And we can see it all right there within this motion. The most vile, the most derogatory, the most horrific thing you can say about an individual. And in our culture today, that empowers women to say these things falsely about men, heaven forbid, young boys growing up in this culture that empowers women to make false claims about men, and the fools who have then believed them. And the way that, I mean, you know, you have this whole aspect of, I get it, years ago, you had the women's liberation and hey, men aren't better than women. And now what we have is the exact opposite. Women are stating they're better than men. And the reality is this: God created man and woman equally in his image. Do you realize the beauty of that is a man is a part of God's image, a woman is a part of God's image, and when they come together as two, they are a reflection of our true God and creator and maker. One is not greater than the other. One is not lower than the other. Now, there is a ordained family makeup that God has ordained, or he's ordained two things. Number one is the family. Number two is, well, we'll just stick on number one right now. Okay, we're not in church. So the family is what he has ordained as they come together and they show the completeness of who God truly is. Equality. And that's the way it always should be, regardless of age, gender, regardless of, the reality is we are all humbly and equally made in God's image. And that's the beauty of it. We're all different. That's one of the reasons why I love different cultures and I love different ethnic groups, and I love learning about different social norms. I've been all over the world, whether I've been South Africa or Japan or Egypt. You've seen me go to Egypt or Italy, or I could keep going on and on and on. And not once during that flight did I ever fall off the edge of the earth, because it's round. Okay. So on July 2023, Miss Preston posted in her private Facebook group, number one, admitted that Mr. Crook posted the derogatory road signs. So they have a huge issue here. So we have already all of the Facebook posts, all the screenshots. So you've got LIEnette stating Crook's posted all the signs. You've got Crook in Ohio court going, if LIEnette wrote all, he said Michelle, if Michelle wrote the signs, what does it have to do with me? You literally have them going against each other, which is what all these fools on this side are going to end up doing. Once they're held accountable, once they actually get served, now it's going to be throwing each other under the bus. And it's going to be, well, they made me do this and they said that, and I didn't know, and they're going to all attack each other. LIEnette and Crook attack each other constantly. All right, admitted that Crook posted the derogatory signs around Otter Creek, and that is part of Melissa's affidavit. And Melissa, I've yet to ever bring you up, and but Melissa is a vital part, as Melissa was in all of her groups, and Melissa, for us, kept a timeline of not only what LIEnette has done to us, but LIEnette has done in the past to everyone else as well. We have we are talking pages and pages and pages and pages, trees be dying left and right, of everything LIEnette has said to not only us. We're going back in her history, going through all of her posts, all of her Facebook pages, all of her Facebook groups, everything she's done. And the same pattern exists over and over again. She doesn't get her way, then she calls somebody a child. You get it. just like she's done with Lloyd, just like she did with her own grandson Landon, just like she's done with her daughters, just like she's done with her family, just like she's done with anybody who's been on the property. But it's her mission to rug addicts. And yet she wants to continue to claim at the same time she's never had a rug addict or a rug dealer on the property. And yet she has text messages stating that Crook is dealing his rugs. Huge issues there. Oh, by the way, Deuce has no idea what he's gotten himself into. He's a fool. Complete and total fool. He probably actually thinks the earth is flat. I have never, honestly, this is my 100% opinion, I have never seen a lawyer so bad. Now, some of you are thinking, oh man, you got to be really smart to be a lawyer. No, you don't. You have to pass the test. And guess what? The person who aces the test and the person who just passed the test, what do you call them? Well, the one that just passed the test, I would call it Deuce, but they're still a lawyer, regardless of how good or how bad. And just because you could pass the test doesn't mean you're good at law, by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, I've passed tests, doesn't mean I'm good at it. There's other things I'm really good at, but I would never pass a test for. I think you understand where I'm going. Okay, number 2, denied she posted the derogatory road signs around Otter Creek. And this is all part of the affidavit from Melissa in the timeline. And this is a huge timeline. Number 3, admitted that Mr. Crook is verbally and emotionally what? He's abusive? Huh? Not Crook. Come on. Not her soulmate. No. This is more throwing Crook under the bus. By the way, she's done this to Shark. She's done this to Jamster. You get it, right? Everybody sees the pattern. You're a fool if you can't see the pattern. And those who are offended that I call somebody a fool, you're probably a fool. So take your offense and go somewhere else. Nobody forces you to watch anything on What the Hales. This is our life story. I'm going to share the news of my story, and I'm going to give my personal opinion on it. Whether you like it or not, it's coming at you. If you don't like it, don't watch. If you do like it, hey, hopefully this never happens to you, and if it does, you're learning something. Number 3, admitted that Mr. Crook is verbally and emotionally abusive. Number 4, encouraged all of her Facebook members to report all of Mr. Hale's YouTube videos. Boy, that's been a constant thing. Report everything he does. Report his videos. And what has happened so far? Nothing. Our YouTube reps will tell you that. Yeah, you're doing nothing wrong. Just keep doing what you're doing. Our Whatnot reps will tell you that. You're doing nothing wrong. Just keep doing what you're doing. By the way, if you want to help us in this legal battle, you can jump on our Whatnot auctions. We're going to give everybody free $15. If you've never purchased anything, you never downloaded, you never purchased anything on Whatnot before, you can use our link, which is in the pinned comments, and you get free $15. You got 30 days to use it. You can use it anywhere on the app. It's free money. Take it. There's over $70,000 right now floating out there that people haven't used yet. You got to use it. It helps us fight this battle when you use it. Okay? And we need that help. All right. We don't want this to happen to anybody else. This is horrific. You're not only helping us, you're helping the other residents of Otter Creek. All right. Number 2, Mr. Cook's defamatory statements. Mr. Cook is the administrator of a Facebook private group called Otter Creek Jeremy Hale's Coward of Levy County. Now, you realize he's taking that old Kenny Rogers song, The Coward of the County. Coward of the County. I think Crook forgot the last line where he walks into the building, he locks the doors, and he whoops every single one of them boys' butts. I think he forgot the lyrics, what happens in that song. So now, Crook creates Jeremy Hale's Coward of Levy County, a group for ex-fans of What the Hales. All right, so now they're assembling. They're assembling their defamation. How's that look in court? Posted Martha, Mr. Hale's co-host of What the Hales and a long-term girlfriend, was very angry with Jeremy for taking a nap or sleeping with Jamster. Jamie Johnson, which I can assure you this never happened because none of my body parts rotted and fell off. So I'm still all intact. This never happened. She simply did me a favor, and I happened to have my phone camera on, and the vice mayor I don't even get all this with John. I'm sure John was drunk when he did this. And the vice mayor raps children. So, Jeremy, would you like me to post the picture of my small Vienna sausage in George's mouth? You can't take this one down. You realize this vile man states that he has pictures. Not only does he lie, and he states he has pictures that he has his little tiny Tic Tac in George's mouth, but then he says, I slept with Jamie Starr Johnson, who wants to be an aspiring adult star, who just got her children taken away again, who is a drug addict, who was on the property with a stolen camper, with LIEnette continuing to state she's never had any drug addicts on the property. And you're going to believe anything that comes out of this woman's mouth? I don't think so. How foolish. And then 3 additional follow-up statements. Number 1, Jeremy, I'm still going to post the picture of my Tic Tac in George's mouth. Number 2, Jeremy, I'm going to post a picture of my Tic Tac in George's mouth. And number 3, is this all you can come up with as repeats? I have a picture of my Tic Tac. You realize that's not the actual word. In George's mouth. Can I post it? And the exhibits are attached within. Hey, men, how would you feel about that? Somebody saying that about your significant other. Oh, by the way, you individuals who call yourself men, who are supporting and defending this fool, how would you feel if they said this about your wife? Now, I realize all you men out there nobody wants to be with some of you. I realize you're alone. You want to be proud and say, I'm a lone wolf. No, you're just a disgusting human being that a woman doesn't want anything to do with. That's what it comes down to. But some of you are married. You think that you'd be okay with this? This okay? How would you respond? Oh, well, send them money. Send them money. Because the more money you haters send LIEnette and Crook means the more I get in federal court when this is all done. So the more you do for them, whether you like it or not, in the end, when I win, and I am 100% confident that I will, what you've done is helped me. Thank you. April 2023, Mr. Crook posted online a large collection of, we'll just say X. And you can throw an S at the beginning of it, toys, and stated Mr. Hales was selling them. And the exhibit is attached. And you can see in here that it's talking about the attached exhibits. These are all evidentiary exhibits, okay? So Crook posted on local pages. He took me and my Facebook and Jeremy Hales and then put a dollar sale for all of these X toys. Not just once, multiple times. And you heard him talk about it in Ohio court, and you say, that's not me. I gave that page away. Somebody else did it. They're always throwing somebody else under the bus, aren't they? Posted Angela Gleason. This is another fool. You know what? She probably thinks the earth is flat. I can guarantee you she ain't. And I ain't talking about what you're thinking I'm talking about. I'm talking about cankles. That's what I'm talking about. And by the way, if you're going, oh man, Jeremy, how would you say that about, are you body shaming? I got a dad bod. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm describing somebody the way they are. By the way, George has a mom bod. I have no issue with it. I almost started to sing a Sir Mix-a-Lot song there, but I like cuddly grandmas and aunties and the whole deal. And so the more padded, the more cuddly, and the more comfortable. So Angela Gleason posts, he makes his followers do his dirty work. Actually, Crook posted this to Angela Gleason. He makes his followers, her voice is deeper than mine too. He makes his followers do his dirty work. That's why we call him the coward of Levy County. Again, obviously he never finished listening to that song because the bad guys don't win in the end. The coward of the county does. Posted on his Facebook group, Otter Creek, Jeremy Hales, coward of Levy County. Jill, I just wrote your grandson. Now he's attacking other people. So there's people in the group. So he wants this group, and then he starts attacking people in the group. Crook says, Jill, I just wrote your grandson, Zach, and told him how you're helping a YouTuber destroy a disabled woman. And really? This woman's disabled? She runs faster than me. This woman's doing a marathon into Chiefland pushing a stroller, and somehow she's disabled? She's chucking shells filled with metal tools. that look like a disability to you? Jill, I just wrote your grandson, Zach, and I told him. Want to talk about stalking? Crook is going in and finding family members and talking to them. Every family member has contacted me. Every single one. Jill, I wrote you, and I've had to block so many of them, it's ridiculous, because they're all freaking insane. They're freaking free tablet insane. All right. Jill, I wrote your grandson, Zach, and I told him how you're helping a YouTuber destroy a disabled woman and a disabled child life. More letters going to my to more family members. Welcome to the page. Let's have some fun. And again, you can see the exhibit. Exhibit John Cook, A2. They're all here. I mean, this is just a small sampling of thousands and thousands of screenshots and timeline. You realize they're going to be destroyed in court. I'm not talking about the screenshots. I mean, legally, Crook and LIEnette are going to lose everything, and then others are going to lose everything. All right, posted. I believe I heard from a very reliable source that the reason that Jeremy and George went to Egypt was to recruit some of George's family to bring them into Otter Creek because they want to make the Ark, that was the old schoolhouse building, into a, what is that? Talk about racist right there. So LIEnette calls George a sand N-word, and then Crook calls George's family radical. You get it, all right? Complete and total racism. Why isn't the other side talking about this? Is it because it destroys their entire argument? Because let's face it, the other side doesn't support LIEnette and Crook. They know what they've done is wrong, and they know she wrote the signs, half of them. They know it. Whether they want to play games and try and pretend like she didn't, they already know it all happened. They just don't like what the hell's Jeremy and George. And it may be more Jeremy, and it may be more George, depending on the purpose or the person. And what it really comes down to is the core heart issue of jealousy. They're jealous. Jeremy and George have. We don't. Jeremy and George get to live this life, go do whatever they want, whenever they want. We don't. It all comes down to jealousy, and it's despicable. The same thing with Deuce, the same thing with LIEnette, the same thing with Crook, the same thing with all these other stupid anybody's. All right. So, to bring them into the creek because they wanted to make the Ark into a radical, and you can figure out the rest, making George happy to have her family here so they can always scream. And this starts getting extremely non-YouTube friendly. So, just understand that the exhibit is part of the motion, okay? And I am not okay with excluding certain groups of individuals in our world today, whether it be based on race, whether it be on color, whether it be on geography, location, whether it be on gender, whether it be on age, whether it be on any preferences in their life. Listen, I love all people. You know who I don't love? Individuals that do horrific things. They are the unlovables. And even though we still should try and love them, we are not called to pay their way. We are not called to tolerate them in our lives. There should be healthy boundaries. And currently in Otter Creek, there are no healthy boundaries. And the Levy County Sheriff Department has not helped that at all by lack of enforcement. And so this is so disgusting, so vile. I mean, I know you're looking at this and you're going, well, LIEnette and Crook, they belong together. Yeah, they're definitely two peas in a pod, aren't they? Peeing in a bucket. There's no doubt about that. And as I've said so many times, birds of a feather flock together. You want to be a multimillionaire, hang out with 4 other multimillionaires. A raising tide is going to raise all ships. You're going to learn things, and you're going to find and discover things, and things will be shared, and you will become a multimillionaire. Unless you're a complete and total moron and a fool and you can't learn, you want to be a nothing, go hang out with 4 nothings. Guess what you will be? Nothing. You run with skunks, you smell like skunks. You fly with eagles, you soar with eagles. And then you've got these channels crying out, why can't I? Why can't I? They want to be a what the hales, except they're doing the exact opposite thing. And then they cry and they complain and they wonder why they can't have success. All right, let's keep going on. Is bottom line, Crook posted, Mr. Hales hates the happy, we'll say happy community with rainbows. And I think we already know that, I've stated this multiple times. What are the best storage units I love to buy? From happy people. They have the best taste. And I've also stated this, some of the people that are closest in my life are very happy. And while it's not my position to say, hey, this is who it is, or this is, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter who it is. The fact is, I love all people. I may not agree with what they do. I don't agree what Crook did. This entire page, I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with what LIEnette did. I'm not okay with what Deuce is doing. I'm not okay with any of that. That makes them very, very, very difficult to even like, let alone love. Now, I can tell you, I have no love in my heart for LIEnette or Crook or Deuce or other foolish individuals. And why? Because of what they've done. All right, let's keep going. Posted, Jeremy, hard at work, wasting taxpayers' dollars. I wonder if he had to pay out of his own pocket. He would do this stuff, but all the money he has, he gets from mooching off of his sheep. Well, can we all say bah on the count of three? 1, 2, 3. Wait, nobody said bah, did you? Because you're not sheep. You actually have a brain. You can think for yourself. You're not actually out there grifting off of other people. You're actually working hard for yourself. Now, I get that some of you are disabled and you can't go out and get a job, and that's okay. But you're still doing what you need to do to be successful, to move forward in life. Listen, if we're not growing, we're groaning. You see what I'm saying? We should always be growing. If there is no growth, what is there? There's only death then. We always should be growing in some way, some form, somehow. There are those who have said, I'm disabled, I can't do anything. You think that stops Stephen Hawkins? That stop him. Why would you let these limitations stop you? There are plenty of examples out there of people who did not let any disability stop them whatsoever. And what did they do? They made it. And they made it big. And so can you. If that is one message that we have taught from the very beginning, is you can be successfully unemployed. You have to work at it. You don't give up, and you don't get there by sitting on a couch all day. You don't get there by laying in a hammock in a shed all day on Facebook. You don't get there by begging off of people all day. And you don't get there by being a sheep, which none of you are. You think independently for yourself, and we appreciate you for that. Page 14 says, Jeremy Hale slides down in his chair like a scolded dog at a board meeting after Gail, the board member, stands up and says where all the garbage is coming from and proves the sick coward is a liar. He could not put one of his rants on it because it would make him look like foul language, the S word. But his stupid, foul language, the F word, fans, his stupid, by the way, Crook is calling you the stupid effing fans, will keep believing it because most of them are fat, ugly, old women with no life. Why isn't the other side talking about this, especially the ones that are supporting them that are fat, ugly, with no life? You might even say there's a couple of them, 2. You might even call them leeches. They have no problem with this? Interesting. Interesting. By the way, so I was as shocked as everybody else when Gail, in a board meeting, stated that, oh yeah, I throw garbage out there all the time on Dead Dog Road, which is not an actual road. It's privately owned property. I don't even understand how the mentality of a community gets instilled to where you go, I'm just going to dump garbage wherever I want to dump garbage. No stewardship of property, of land, of neighbors. I mean, we've seen the disrespect over and over and over again. Whether it be former Mayor Mike Davis of Cedar Key with his vehicle on my property, which, by the way, if I made these videos for money and for content, why was there only one video of Mike Davis of Cedar Key, former mayor? If I was doing this not for accountability and protection, why is there only one video? Because he stopped. Has LIEnette CROOK stopped? Well, we can see that hasn't happened anytime soon, right? Still hasn't. We have this ridiculous motion. You would think they'd want this all to end. Nope. They just dig a further hole again and again. How does an entire community get so instilled in a philosophy that we can do whatever we want on anybody's property? Which we've heard from busted can of biscuits. I go on that property, I'll do whatever I want on my property. My property. How ignorantly foolish. That's a good way to get lead poisoning. You know, freedom sticks. I don't even understand the thought and philosophy, the lack of respect for people, the lack of respect for people's property, the lack of who raised these people. Now, I appreciate Gail, my neighbor, very much so. While I don't agree with her on all things, she's not going to agree with me on all things either. So what? So we don't agree on everything. Guess what? I don't agree with everything with George. As a matter of fact, George and I probably disagree on 99% of things. So what? Does it really matter in the end? So Crook is stating that I slid down in my chair like a dog, a scolded dog. And yet he wasn't there. And I'm pretty sure I've never slid down in my chair. I was in shock that Gail on camera was literally telling people that she litters, which is a crime that she could actually be arrested for. And I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness. So, at any rate, I'm sure she has stopped completely. And then Crook goes on to call all the fans, the viewers, fat. I'm fat. Old. I'm old. Ugly. I mean, I'm not exactly a 10, but I'm funny, so that's got to make me at least a 4 or 5, right? And women. I'm not a woman. I love women, but one in particular, but I'm not a woman. So I guess this isn't me, and I'm guessing that half of you, because I have the analytics, I know the ratio of men versus females and male versus female. Half of you don't fit this either, because half of you are men who watch What the Hales with no life. Now, I understand that for some of you watching What the Hales, you get to live life vicariously through us. And we're glad for that. We're happy that that brings you joy. But I have a feeling there's a whole lot more of you that have a much greater life than John Crook or LIEnette could ever dream of. All right, let's keep going. And then John Crook posted, we're going to get David some more views. He's talking about Stupid Dave, which we're not going to promote the channel. But he's now going on. This fool who uses mental health issues as a crutch to be in on the story, out of the story, in, oh my mental, so fragile, who literally starts a fight with everybody in the commentary community, then they make up, then starts a fight, then makes up, then starts a fight. Do you see the pattern of this fool? My goodness, the things this fool could do to cheese, and probably has done to cheese in Wisconsin. Oh, we're going to get Stupid Dave some more views. That didn't happen. And any YouTuber who helps... Oh, wait. Is Crook now stating Stupid Dave is only doing this for views? We already know that's true. 100% true. It's for views. Can't get views on your own. So let's jump on the tailcoats of somebody else's story, because my life isn't interesting enough. Me on camera isn't interesting enough. So we're going to jump on somebody else's life story. Will that get you views? A little bit, for a little bit of time. Guess what's going to happen afterwards? Going to be completely and totally abandoned. They don't even understand how YouTube works. They don't understand how the algorithm works, and their channels are going to die. Let's keep going. any other YouTuber who wants to help clear up the lies, you mean all those lies that we have debunked and shared as truth, is spreading about the town. Well, one thing's for sure, the other YouTuber, I don't know who that is, are saying that Jeremy is on rugs. Oh, here we go. Can we talk about projection? Crook, who is detoxing in jail, is now stating that I'm on rugs. Well, I am. I'm on a blood pressure medication because of all the stress from this, which has been proven in court already. By the way, that's doctor prescribed, not what he's doing. Is spreading about the town. One thing's for sure, the other YouTuber are saying that Jeremy is on rugs, which some of them did say that, and they're going to be held accountable for it in court, just because they haven't been served yet. And by the way, I'm just as frustrated with the court system as probably some of you are. When's this going to happen? When's this going to happen? I can't rush the court system any faster. I can't get them served any faster. I can't get the courts to move any faster. And the hurricanes aren't helping either. So it will happen. Whether it happens today, whether it happens tomorrow, in a week, in a month, or in a year, it's going to happen. You mark my words. You can go back here and go, Jeremy said it. And if Jeremy said it, it's going to happen. All right, they're saying Jeremy's on rugs, which is very possible because his best bud up north in Ohio is getting divorced because of his rug habit. I don't even understand what this is. And when he hurt his foot, they're saying he got addicted to, oh my goodness, and mixes them with strong drink. Literally the things that Crook is doing in his life are the things he's trying to say that are mean. Which, by the way, I was on no pain meds for my foot when it was broke, and it's healed perfectly, and I didn't even have to have surgery. But I am on blood pressure medications. I also am on heartburn medications. I'm also on another medication for another surgery that I had that we're not going to talk about. But 3 medications. That's what I'm on. Oh, and I don't drink. As a matter of fact, it's not that I haven't tasted strong drink. I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's bitter. It's nasty. It's like sipping gasoline. I don't understand why anybody would. And so I don't. Number one, I would never want to be in a position where I was out of control of my own actions, my own mouth. But the biggest thing is it's gross. There's no appeal to me whatsoever. And then Crook posted, they turned him down after receiving hundreds of videos of him going, here we go, talking more about happy people. And the happy people are more foul language at him, and there's millions of them waiting to go after Jeremy and his sheep and the trolls. Okay, where are they? Anybody seen any? Anybody? Nope. All right. Oh my goodness. Which, by the way, the exhibits are all attached. We're not going to look at all the exhibits. They're in court. You'll see it in the actual court case. And then Crook went on and posted, the coward of Levy County is being served a no contact order of harassment against him, which, by the way, never happened. So more lies. Okay. But he's hiding on his property behind locked gates and a camera did not get served. Oh, wait, you mean like LIEnette and Crook were trying to dodge service and posted it on Facebook? Literally posted them dodging service for the Ohio courts on Facebook. And Crook's now stating, by the way, at this time frame, Crook's stating that I'm dodging service for the federal, not the federal, for the Florida injunction. I'm in Ohio at Hale's headquarters. And he's so dumb that he thinks I'm in Florida. And I'm hiding behind locked gates and a camera. Jeremy Hales is a, well, effing P. Jeremy Hales is an effing P. That's odd because when he stalked me to my property and I had it and it was enough and he said all these vile things about me and all these vile things about George, all these horrific things, and I told him, get out, let's settle this right now. What did he do? He refused to get out of his vehicle, even though he's trespassing, he's stalking, and he goes, touch my vehicle, see what goes bang. And he threatens to bang me. And I ain't talking about he wanted my honey buns, wanted to bend me over. Although I'm sure that is a major thing for him as well. He brags about serving people and doing everything to them. It's not bragging. You realize, I'm sure you as a normal person, you realize it's not bragging. It's the news. It's what's happening. There are people who will be served. They are going to be served. There is lawsuit against them. Brags about serving people, doing everything to them, and then he's starting to get nailed. He's a coward. And Hines? Literally, that's what Crook put, Hines. The dude can't even spell the word hides. That's how pathetic these two truly are.